Hi everybody, so this is a different intro to today's video. This morning, woke up at home, went to the gym early, did an hour session there, but as you can probably tell, I am not there at the moment. I'm actually in a local hotel. What I did after the gym is I came here, booked myself in. And this is something I do from time to time, and what I do when I come here is literally just relax on the beds, take a shower, got great showers here, and decompress. It's a great way to take you away from technology, to get you away from all the stresses of work and life, and just get some me time, just some alone time with yourself. Keeps you healthy up here, allows you to start thinking, allows your brain to kick in. So what I'm trying to say is treat yourself, be kind to yourself. It doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't mean that you have to travel far, but it is a great way just to remove yourself for a short time from everything. All I'm going to do now is I've just come out of a great shower. I'm just going to relax on the bed for a bit, and then I will go home in maybe an hour or two's time, and then I'll continue to work on the video you're just about to watch. See you on the flip side. Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Now before I even go in today's video, I gotta give a quick disclaimer, although there are already people in the comment section going, losing momentum doesn't mean that the game is failing, doesn't mean that the game is bad. All that it means from my perspective is that Apex Legends and Respawn are not capitalizing on the white hot entrance to the gaming world that it had at the beginning of February. And I'm going to give my reasons why I think that's actually happened. And also, I'm going to look at it from Respawn's point of view as well, because I think there's a very specific question that you have to ask from their side also. So, with that said, let's get into the body of today's video. Oh, and just in case people are wondering, spent about four and a half hours at the hotel, had a couple of showers, cup of coffee, bite to eat, snooze on the bed. It's good stuff. Right, so Apex Legends arrived at the beginning of February to absolutely no fanfare. No fanfare at all. This game wasn't marketed. Although it was leaked a year ago, people thought that it was a troll. And it only came out, news about its release only came out the day before it was actually announced itself. And Respawn just said, hey guys, we're releasing a Battle Royale game in the Titanfall universe. It's free to play and it's out now. Now, they did do some very clever marketing behind it. They went and had themselves a couple of big Twitch influencers, Shroud and Dr. Disrespect. Now, no shade. I don't personally watch them, not because I've got anything against them, I just don't personally watch them. But I know that they have huge channels, and I believe now Shroud is the most watched Twitch streamer, and he's taken over from Ninja. Oh, what a shame. So, you know, it's obviously really worked out well for them. But they obviously dragged a huge audience into this game, and in itself, it was just a really fun game. I personally love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think it's really good fun to play. I think the map is very well developed indeed. I like the array of guns. I like the array of attachments. I like the abilities that the characters have and the way that it's been put together. And it's also a great social game. I play the vast majority of the time with a friend of mine. We mess about, we have a complete laugh and a DOS, but at the same time, we tend to pick up a couple of W's every session that we play. And so we don't feel as if we're just dicking about for nothing. We actually get some wins. So it's really good. It's fun, it's interesting, and I get some W's. So from my perspective, top marks. And when it came out, it was heading Twitch. It was like #1 on Twitch. And we thought that we had actually found a legitimate threat to Fortnite. Because Fortnite suddenly got pushed right down as people from the Fortnite crowd gravitated towards a new Battle Royale game. Now, it was easy to see why Respawn marketed it or didn't market, as the case was, in the manner that they did. Number one, EA. They really didn't want the negativity of EA attached to this project. EA had nothing to do with it. They were working on this project all by themselves, and the connotations that EA has recently had, they didn't want that attached to a project, and it's fully understandable, particularly with what EA did with Titanfall 2 and completely botching the release of that, and that's a damn good game. Number two, the stigma of Battle Royale games. You say, oh, there's a new Battle Royale game coming, you're likely going to groan. Oh, God, not another. Because the marketplace is becoming saturated with them. Gaming companies, instead of being, innovative, are now looking at market trends and just trying to copy. It's what the AAA industry is essentially doing now. Instead of being a market leader, they're now becoming trend followers. And that's really bad for the industry because all they're looking at is what is flavor of the month and how can we monetize it. And the way that they monetize their games in general, it's a non-sustainable business model, as we've all discussed. It'll eventually just come all gliding down on itself. And third of all, why go through an expensive marketing campaign when you don't know how the game's going to turn out? So they did what they thought was the right thing to do and just went, hey, it's here, it's free to play, it's available right now. And it worked. It worked absolutely perfectly. So, with a couple of big Twitch influencers behind it, with Shroud and Dr. Disrespect, things looked really rosy for this title. And we had the recent figures that it took $92 million in February, which is the most that any free-to-play game has taken in its initial month, in its first month, premiere month. So that is absolutely fantastic. You can't begrudge that. You can't deny those figures. They are cast iron. However, since then, we're now, another month and a bit down the line, nearly 2 months down the line with the game. And suddenly, we are finding that it's slipping down the Twitch charts. So, let's have a look at the live Twitch charts as they are. These are the most popular view games right now. We've got League of Legends, which is always up there or thereabouts anyway, but they're number one. And then Fortnite, number two, which we'll get back to soon. Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 3, and I think that's got something to do with GTA 5 roleplay. I was seeing a lot of people talking about that, so that might be a reason for this resurgence. Dota, which is always up there or thereabouts. Magic the Gathering, which has had a bit of a push in recent times. Now, whether or not that's due to tournaments, or I know that PewDiePie's been doing a couple of videos on it recently, that could have pushed some people in, or whatever it may be. Sekiro, that of course being from Software, which is the people behind Dark Souls as well. So that's going to really pull in an audience. Dark Soul games being exceedingly popular. Counter-Strike, again, a mainstay. Just Chatting, a mainstay. World of Warcraft, which is currently showing the MDI, the Mythic Dungeon International, and therefore has pulled in a bigger audience because of that. Then we've got Apex Legends and PUBG, which are on very similar numbers. And again, this is quite important because, of course, when Fortnite deposed PUBG, PUBG didn't really respond. PUBG really didn't respond to the threat of Fortnite. They just worked on a couple of extra maps, but other than that, nothing really. And it allowed Fortnite to get very innovative and creative with their cosmetics and the way that they can consistently alter the world, and boom, Fortnite just absolutely dominated. Apex Legends is acting more like PUBG than it is Fortnite in the way that it's conducting business. So, let's just go back to Fortnite for right now. When Apex Legends came out, instead of Fortnite doing what PUBG did, stay with me on this one, this is bouncing back Battle Royale games left, right and centre. They responded immediately. They assessed the situation and they came up with a plan. And the plan was, right, we're going to announce a free battle pass should you complete a specific number of achievements before a certain date. Now, that in itself was very clever because to do the achievements, you had to obviously be playing Fortnite. Da-da. And then, of course, when you did those achievements, you got yourself the free battle pass, with the battle pass normally costing coins, costing $1. And therefore, you could get a number of cosmetics and really cool cosmetics for nothing now. So the appeal of that was huge, and people gravitated towards it. So even though Apex Legends at the time was just absolutely slamming it, suddenly Fortnite were just creeping back up there with the promise of this free battle pass. And then, of course, when the new season comes along with Fortnite, the world alters again. The map alters, and you have this ever-evolving world. And that is one of the things which I think is excellent about Fortnite, is they don't just they sit on the same map, but the same map always tweaks itself. There is always an area of the map which will change, which will be different. And people like that. People like to see work on the game. They like to see an evolution on their product. It makes it look as if the developers and the people behind the project really care. And they really want people to be entertained, and they want them to have new experiences within that world, that environment. Fortnite is offering that. Regardless of how you think of Fortnite, that is what they offered. With Apex Legends, though, this is where I think we have to ask the question. And the question is, what was Respawn's expectations when it came to Apex Legends? And that in itself is really important indeed. Because if the answer is, oh, we thought this game was going to be as big, if not bigger than Fortnite, and we had that expectation in mind, then they're actually failing their own business model. Not the game, but they're failing their own business model because they haven't capitalized. They got what they wanted, that white hot start, but they haven't evolved the product or shown any sort of evolution to come in the product, other than saying a few things which haven't happened, i.e. saying that there's going to be new maps, saying that there's going to be new characters, apart from Octane that's come obviously, saying that there's going to be duos, singles, etc., but not actually doing anything about that. On top of that, if their expectations was, we think this is going to do decent, you know, we just think this is going to be decent. Maybe, you know, it probably won't hit Fortnite. It'd be great if it can compete with PUBG, but likelihood is it'll probably sit somewhere around, maybe around the Overwatch mark, you know, with that sort of level of interest in the product. Now, if that was the case, then you can fully understand why Apex Legends hasn't carried on its momentum. Because they weren't expecting this kind of response. Because when you get the response that it gets, people get hungry. And they want things. And they want things pretty damn quick. And so when Respawn did respond and say, yeah, we're going to bring in a season pass, people got excited. I got excited. My friend got excited. And then we purchased the season pass. And the season pass is awful. It's absolutely terrible. When you compare the season pass of this game versus the season pass of Fortnite, they are non-comparable. Absolutely non-comparable at all. Fortnite offers such a diverse plethora of cosmetics, characters, backpacks, you know, hammers or whatever that you build with, all that kind of stuff. Whereas in Apex Legends, it's offering you, oh, damage meter for that season, kill for that season, average looking skins, really poor looking skins, to be honest with you. No real cosmetics for your character. You know, it's really kind of, there's nothing to get excited about. And then you'll get a loot box every so often. And, you know, I'm sure that goes down to luck. But let's just say, when it comes to loot boxes and Apex Legends, I haven't had the best of luck at all. In all the loot boxes that I got, I think I've got something like 3 legendaries. And that's it. It's virtually every box I open just seems to be a blue and 2 greys. So I don't get excited about that because nothing seems to happen when it comes to it. And that's it. That's really it. Then, to kind of compound matters a little bit further, one of their paid influencers, somebody who they probably gave a hell of a lot of money to, Dr. Disrespect, quits out of a stream. quits out of an Apex Legends stream and says, I'm bored. I've done everything that I can do in the game. I'm bored. And that's quite a big thing, really, because with a game like a Battle Royale game, you are expecting a very similar experience every time anyway. So to say that you're bored, you've done everything that you think you can do, that's not good. And if Dr. Disrespect pulls out, he's also pulling out a significant proportion of his audience because they'll be watching him as opposed to Apex Legends. Now, the Apex Legends might have squeezed a few off of him when he's not streaming, etc. But if he's streaming, whatever he may stream, they're likely going to follow that instead. And it's a big thing when somebody who's been paid to essentially say great things about your product turns around and goes, I'm bored and I'm quitting out this stream. So that in itself doesn't show a good sign. They needed to hit the button quickly. They needed to get a singles mode out quick. They needed to get a duos mode out very quickly indeed. And the whole idyllic nature of it started to disintegrate somewhat. I think it's great that you have this 3-person group working cooperatively with each other. And if somebody gets knocked down, it's not necessarily the end for them. You can, of course, grab their banner and then go respawn them at one of the respawn areas. However, when people play the game at the start, they tend to play in the faith that it's created in. And so if you get knocked down, oh, I'm going to stick around. Let's see if my teammates can get me rezzed. Okay. We didn't happen to do it on this occasion. We got wiped out. Or, yes, they got to respawn banner. Boom. I'm back in the game. Whereas a few weeks later down the line, get killed. Boom. Immediately quit out. Don't go to the area that you want them to. Boom. Instantly quit out. So unless you're actually with a party of people who you know, when you start teaming up with strangers, starts to become a worse and worse experience the longer the game's going on. And with no other modes being offered, people are feeling maybe as if they've gone as far as they can with the product. With only one map as well on offer, and no evolution to that map, although we do know another map, at least one map, is in production. Again, people might just be getting slightly bored. 2 months of the same map, no change, kind of getting a little bit of PUBG syndrome. Because if these people are coming from a game like PUBG, which in itself didn't see too much change, didn't see too many new maps till much later on, much later when Fortnite had actually come along and done the damage to them, it was too late by then. And they could get that same sinking feeling with Apex Legends. If Apex and Respawn did have the grandiose idea that it was going to be a Fortnite killer, or it was going to be a legitimate competitor to Fortnite, they didn't get the infrastructure in correctly to push it on. Now, that is not to say that Apex Legends can't bounce right back up here. A new map could change everything. New modes could change everything. Getting some real good skins in, because the skins aren't particularly interesting either. There are a couple of good ones, sure, but not really. Most of them, very generic indeed. If they can get the cosmetic area right with the character skins and stuff, could bounce things back up. It really could. Because I think the way that your character can look in Fortnite is so fun. It's really great to be running around in a banana suit, or running around as a space alien, or running around as a cowboy, or whatever it may be. There's a lot of different fantasy there for people to play in their games. So, Apex Legends, I do believe, is losing momentum. I'm sure this is going to climb up as the Mythic Dungeon International goes, away for the night. Maybe Magic will start to drop down, and maybe Grand Theft Auto will start to drop down a bit as the evening progresses. And then the mainstays of LoL, Fortnite, Dota, Counter-Strike will stick around, and then Apex maybe push up to around here. But it certainly isn't challenging Fortnite anymore, and that's got to be slightly concerning from their perspective if that's what they really, really wanted to do. Doesn't mean it's game over. It just means they need to get their strategy right. I love the game. I'm very happy with Respawn. I'm very happy for Respawn as well, because I think they deserve this success. It just really would be great to see if they can make Apex the game it probably and has the potential to be. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.